So this is actually a kind of a weird live stream. It's our first time ever. We're going to do a chat about what's going on in Giveth. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go. I think it might be also more general, like what's going on in the decentralized movement of Ethereum. And I hope that it works out okay. Josh is going to be leading it, and he's a superstar. So I don't know when he's going to get here. Hopefully soon. There he is.
Hey, Griff. Sorry about that, man. That was my computer doing a weird thing with Zoom and then the connectivity.
Oh, yeah, the connectivity sucks.
How are you?
Great, man. Yeah, and we're already live streaming, so that's going. Although I had an issue with the live stream earlier, so I wonder, I just need to check to make sure it's actually working.
Excuse me.
How do we want to do this? Do you have like a? Do you have an idea of how we want to play?
Not really yet. I would ideally like to go and just kind of see where you're at in your head, but
yeah,
that's kind of the most important thing, and then I'll kind of try and mash that into the document with the other bits that I'm gathering. So
sure.
Freeform is probably good.
Okay. So I think the idea is generally to end up with a blog post that says like what's going on in Giveth right now, pretty much.
Yeah. Did you see the document that I sent you over?
Oh, what?
Jeff filled me in on quite a lot of the stuff that you guys were up to, because obviously it didn't waste people's time.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, cool. Sorry, the connectivity went again. So I chucked over what Jeff said you guys were kind of planning roughly from his perspective, took down a bunch of notes and then typed up a thing, fired it over to you. It's probably not accurate. It's kind of my interpretation of Jeff's truth through kind of circling with you and Michael. So it's still quite murky for everyone, I'd imagine. But connectivity.
No, you're good. I mean, you freeze, but I can still hear you. Maybe not anymore. Do you have your computer charger? And we're back. I hear you, buddy. So, you there? You're muted.
Oh, yep. Hello, sorry again. Internet's a bit flaky today, it seems.
Yeah, well, you're in the UK though, right?
Yeah, it's normally not going down on me. It's just been today. God's not smiling, or whatever it is.
Yeah, the internet gods, man.
Yeah, not pleased.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want, I can break down the like Curry model. At least that's what I'm calling it right now.
Curry.
Yeah, the Curry model.
What's doing, is it?
Yeah, because the first blog post that Jeff wrote about this was about cleaning up Thai beaches, right? And
oh yeah, no, I've seen that one actually as well. I didn't realize that was Jeff.
Talking
about it yesterday. I didn't. Okay.
And so we're basically trying to do that and just hashing out the details. You know, the devil's in the details, and we're calling it the Curry model. At least at this point, it's a working name, but it works, and it's because it's token bonding curves and curation markets, right? And the fusion of the two. Beautiful, delicious Penang curry, you know? And so the general idea is that we have a bonding curve, and these token bonding curves, you know, they're most usually used for Ponzi schemes, but we're hoping to create a bonding curve that instead creates a continuous funding model that incentivizes actors to invest in and we probably won't use the word invest. I mean, because that's not really what it's about anyway. It's really about donating and becoming part of this community. And in general, this is what I love about crypto, is that you can use a token to create a community. Look at all the Bitcoin maximalists, you know, and Ethereum maximalists. There's something about having this token. It's like having a flag, and it unifies everybody.
Well, I believe Vitalik at one point was talking about it's literally becoming a point of capture the Schelling point.
Yeah.
Where you've got, again, every coin is a community. You've got emergent causes coming up around each little Schelling point. So it's just like that's the world we're moving into. But they were worried about, obviously, on a larger thing. But I'll let you get back to explaining here.
Well, I mean, that's exactly it, though. It's like, okay, here we are using blockchain to build communities around causes. That's the strategy. And the best way to do that, honestly, is to do it with the token. But the token model up to this point has never really been interesting to me and I don't think for Giveth either, because it's a very for-profit, like, you know, I don't know. The ICO model is just kind of gross. So what we did with the DAO was really nice, and and it almost is like a token bonding curve. So the DAO, the Ether didn't go to anybody. The Ether stayed in the smart contract, and I feel like that is a really interesting piece that we don't have anymore. The Ether goes to some multi-sig, and somebody gets to decide.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was happening in the DAO, actually. Obviously, that's how it all got locked up, and the chase around white hat, black hats, all that happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't realize it wasn't actually going to anyone at the time.
No, the money was there, and it was owned by the DAO token holders. And this is the same case with every other token bonding curve, including the Ponzi schemes, right? Money goes into this smart contract, and then you hold, hoping other people will buy in, and your token value will go up, right? And so we want to do something like that, except instead of it being this like curve where it just goes up forever, we actually level it out. Because for charity, and this is something that's wrong with the current model, the value of I don't think we need $10 trillion to clean up a river. You know, what's really needed is just like most tragedy commons issues are not benefited by a lot of money. They're benefited by some money for a long period of time, so that we can continue to chip away and like raise the standard of living around, you know, or solve that tragedy commons issue, whether it's homelessness, cleaning up trash on the beach, or helping support the environment, or, you know, whatever common cause everyone wants to unite around. Let's work on it. So what's cool about this token bonding curve is that you can someone can send 1 Ether in, get 1,000 tokens, but then also 200 tokens are created for a DAO. And this is like, and that DAO then uses those funds to support whatever the cause is. So I like picking up trash from a beach. So let's just clean Thai beaches today, right? And so how people can come up with ideas on how to like support cleaning the beach. Maybe somebody's like, we just need more garbage cans, and then, you know, with you know, if we pay $10 a week, somebody will come by and empty all the garbage cans and bring it to the garbage dump, right? And we can create that system. Someone else might be a little more like creative about it, and they'll be like, hey, what if we you know, bring strippers to the beach and have like a party on the beach, and we're gonna like, you know, we're gonna pick up trash. We're gonna party and pick up trash. We're gonna pick up trash with strippers, you know, and like we just need money for strippers, you know, and then they'll come by and the
community rallies around them. Why not?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's pick up. Oh, strippers are picking up trash. You know. Oh, her bra fell off. Oh my God. You know, how crazy is that? And then boom. You know, we have like a clean beach. Like, it doesn't matter. People can come up with crazy ideas that grassroots solutions that will actually work.
It'd be the people on the ground.
Yeah.
Finding.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, dude. Pattaya is full of people that love going to strip clubs, right?
Yeah.
So
sure.
What if instead of, you know, making it rain with money, they're picking up garbage and putting it in garbage bins and like, you know, that could work. They might be interested in it. They might even feel better instead of feeling yucky after coming out of the strip club. You know, they feel like, I just cleaned the beach.
Their soul with smash. Yeah. Why not? Like,
oh, like we're talking externalities, positive externalities here, right? How exciting is that?
So let's start with the.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Dude, awesome.
You guys have fun.
Can I call you Griff?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Griff, it's good to see you. Yeah. You guys hit me up, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
We may grab dinner sometime. So,
okay.
You guys are probably staying here.
Yeah, we're meeting here probably till we're gonna go hit a grocery store and then go to the airport. Working with it. Yep.
Cool, man. Well, travel safe.
Thank you.
Eat Denver. That's probably what I'll see you next.
Yeah. And the next Griff.
Of course. I'll see you online.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
See you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Sorry, Austin Griffith and I had our first Griff riff.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You're heading out to East Denver, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Are you gonna run out there?
Doubt it, but serendipity might have its way.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So yeah, you're going through the token bonding stuff. You're talking about creating the tools to give to these communities, I guess.
Like the thing that I want to build off of here is the real magic of cryptocurrency. Like the real magic of cryptocurrency is incentivizing human behavior. And this is actually the magic of currency, period, the creation of currency. And when you look at what banks do, I don't know, have you heard this spiel of mine already?
I'm not sure.
No, so when you look at what banks do, right, with creating money out of nothing, right? This is by design, and it's because it is a good thing. Like it's not necessarily, it has a lot of negative externalities. You give a lot of power to the banks and all this stuff, right? But in the end,
I would say the problem is they're creating debt rather than booking it as an income.
Okay, that maybe, right? But like what's really cool about this is it incentivizes the banks to give money to small business owners and people who want to buy houses and interesting things that like can kickstart the economy and support the people, the common good. People want to buy houses. Why would a bank ever give someone a loan to buy a house?
Okay, so you're using the bonding, the TCRs then as a loans mechanism for the causes.
No. I'm just explaining the way currency works. I'm backing up like 10 steps. I'm backing up 10 steps, right? I'm just saying like fiat world, look what they do. They incentivize human behavior with currency. They incentivize banks to give money to people who want to buy houses and people who want to start small businesses and other loans by creating money out of nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And that's actually really helps the community, the local community, people that use that currency, because they can go get a loan, right? And banks would never just give out money to people that for no reason, unless they could create that money out of nothing, right?
Yeah, that's
sure. And then Bitcoin kind of took that to another level, and they're like, hey, how about we create money out of nothing, and then we give it to, obviously there's lots of problems with the banks. It's not a bad, it's a bad system. It's a bad system. It's not a bad system. We can do better though. We can do better. And so what Bitcoin did is they said, hey, let's create money out of nothing, but let's give it to people who are going to support the network, right? And then, you know, they support the network and they guess a random number, and then, you know, they get this money if they win the lottery. And so that created this incentive for people to run the software, right? And so you use to change human behavior, to incentivize human behavior you want to see. And then people start doing crazy shit like Namecoin, right? Like, let's incentivize people to run this software, which actually produces some kind of value. Besides just creating money, it actually creates a decentralized DNS name. And then let's create some other kind of value. Like, let's create CureCoin. Have you seen CureCoin?
I haven't seen CureCoin. No, probably not.
CureCoin is kind of an old coin, but basically what it does is it's almost like Golem, where people can run. People who are running the CureCoin software, they're like
hashing kind of thing, gene processing, whatever it's called.
They're
Yeah,
folding proteins. They're folding and unfolding proteins.
yeah, folding proteins. Cool.
Yeah, and so you're incentivizing human behavior. You're getting people to run software that's folding proteins so that people can find a cure for cancer, right? Like, that's the idea, at least. And then, but then you have like, okay, so we're working towards some cool shit. Like, now, I'm hoping that with Giveth that we can create a currency and find crypto economic primitives that can be utilized to help create a community, because same with the people who are mining for CureCoin, there's a community of people doing that. But could we create a community that is incentivized to pick up trash in Thailand, you know? And that's just like a really simple use case, but could we do that? And that's the goal, that's the premise. Can we find a way to incentivize human behavior besides just running software? And so the dream is that with this token bonding curve, we can create a layer of continuous funding. And then that funding goes to a DAO. So like the Ether that people send in to become part of this community, they actually are buying tokens, or they're receiving a membership token, right? But those membership tokens can be put back in, and they can and receive funds to leave the community, right? And so then the DAO itself has money that's created out of nothing and given to it, and they can also use those tokens to then pay for people to come up with ideas to pick up trash in Thailand. And so money is created out of nothing to incentivize human behavior. And that's the magic, right? That's like the deep, like philosophical dream that we're trying to work towards. How do we create a system that incentivizes a community appropriately, every different stakeholder in this community, to achieve the shared vision that they want to achieve? Just like the community of people that want to, I don't know, help autistic children in Barcelona, right? There's a community of people that are willing to send money. There's a community of people that have ideas. There's a community of people that want to curate those ideas. And this is the charity model right now. But the charity model has really fucked up systems in place that don't work. A hierarchical business model, and there's a lot of issues. And there's all these good people in that community, though. And if we can build an economic system, a structure that will funnel the funds that people want to contribute to the community into actions appropriately for all the incentives aligned to actually solve the problem, that's the goal. That's what we're hoping to achieve with the current.
You broke up on that last bit, and you're still looking a bit fuzzy.
That's okay.
Could you repeat that?
I mean, basically, that's the goal. That's the Curry model, right? The goal is to align incentives within a community using a token and curation markets and token bonding curve to align incentives within a community to support whatever cause they're trying to solve, whatever altruistic cause that they want to work on.
So would it, to rephrase it the way I've heard it somewhere else, would it be to complete tasks towards the completion of a more abstract goal, i.e. the cause?
That's a major piece of it for sure. But it's also aligning incentives with the people that are contributing funds, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. For sure.
And there's the curation model, and then there's the donor model, and then there's also the fact But another piece is that the people that do the work, they end up with these tokens, right? And they can cash those tokens in, but they're instantly part of the community. They can leave the community right away, right?
So,
or they sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, you broke up, so I paused. But basically, they get these tokens. They can cash them out for money, or, you know, they also can become part of the community. They can actually use them to vote. They can use them. They can, you know, they can donate them back. They can do whatever they want to do to be part of the community. But every token holder is a member of this community.
Okie doke. I see the larger picture, and you'd like a picture painted over the kind of larger commons orientated things. All of this kind of fits into a lot of different things. The curation market aligning courses, the currency banks to loans to cryptos to Qcoin to folding proteins, all that kind of direction. Have you got a preference on the, I guess, underlying narrative of the story? Because all of this, there's a lot of stuff, and I would say, like, for instance, Status would be saying a lot of similar stuff. So I'm just trying to kind of differentiate it more towards a Giveth narrative in a way.
Gnosis would say a lot of stuff. Is that what you said?
I said Status, but Gnosis would probably say a lot of similar stuff like that as well. We're all saying the same stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the main thing is altruism, right? And building a community around a cause, and using aligning incentives for community members using a token and other crypto-economic primitives, right? To align incentives of all the stakeholders of that community, and that's the goal. That's the higher level goal is building a community that's focused on the cause, an altruistic cause, the tragedy of the commons issue, and aligning incentives appropriately using crypto-economic primitives. And the ones we're looking at are token bonding curves and curation markets. And then, honestly, like, you can leave most of the details to Jeff's beautiful blog post, and you can just link that. But the higher level is that, and like, this is how we build the future of giving, right? The future of giving is not I donate and I get nothing in return, right? Because that's what
the narrative is. The future of giving, the difference between this kind of what was Jeff calling it, a biomimicry, or all of these crypto primitives. It's the future of giving is where we're going to focus on in this article or publication or editorial, whatever you want to call it, to differentiate from the larger message. Because again, we're all quite, like, I would say, Ethereum Foundation, all these are talking about, like, you know, Consensus would be talking about all these primitives and all that as well. They would be maybe using them for all kinds of other things, but our differentiation isn't going to necessarily be we're not going to talk about the granular details. We're going to talk about, because that's all in Jeff's post, we're going to kind of refer to that as the pattern, and then the narrative is more focused around what's new from the old world kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we have this amazing opportunity with Giveth that I don't think most people appreciate. But if we build a platform for charity, right, and we can start experimenting with unique governance models on top of that, without any issue of like, because most governance is focused on how do we spend money, right? I mean, that's where governance plays in for most. Like, a lot of it's shared resources, and usually the biggest resource is determined by value and the value of those resources. So, you know, like government
around valued resources for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously there are other shared resources like, you know, trademarks and, you know, a house or something, right? Like in a family, a house, like different people have different shared resources, land, but
Ultimately valued, yeah. But yeah, definitely shared resources.
So yeah, I think what Giveth has is this opportunity to say, hey, let's figure out a governance model for how to fund charity, right? How do we support a cause, and we can use that to experiment with all of this new governance shit that's been flying out the window. You know, it's like our governance structures are hundreds of years old. How long ago was voting created? How long ago was the Republican democracy figured out? Long fucking time ago, okay? Way before internet and Twitter, right? There wasn't even fucking trains, dude. Like people were traveling the ocean by boat. And if you wanted to get a letter across the ocean, you know, if you want to tell someone in Spain what's going on in Mexico, it's going to take a month, you know? Like now I can tweet Donald Trump. Tell him what I'm up. I can send him a dick pic. Okay, like this, it's crazy. We have some amazing technology. We can send $1 million to China and it'll be there in 3 seconds. You know, and no one can stop it. Like we have all these tools, and I think social media is underrated within governance, at least openly. You know, the powers that be know how important Facebook is. The president of Brazil recently, he didn't participate in any of the debates on TV. He wasn't in anything in normal media. He is a Facebook president. He was elected because people saw him on Facebook and on WhatsApp and WhatsApp groups, and now he's president of Brazil. And so, like, you know, we need to start using these tools inside of our governance, and that's where Giveth can be a perfect place to experiment with this. And because you really you can't lose, right? You really can't lose if you're like going to test your government by airdropping $100,000 to pick up trash on the beach. You know, if the trash is sitting on the beach already, and if the money doesn't go to fund it, people will still be asking for that money, and anyone can still fund it. But if it does a successful job at discerning and making decisions, you know, and the beach stays clean in a sustainable way, oh shit.
Yep. Looking forward to all these patterns getting used to sort all this out. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm happy enough to keep writing again. Is there anything more you would like to talk about?
Okay, so there's like, I think there's space to do an article on the Curry model, right? For sure, and just like pump that out as a Giveth thing. And a lot of it could just be like, you got to read Jeff Emmett's original post.
Yeah, I've read it. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, but that's like probably the blog post in itself, right? It's like throwing.
This is kind of where I'm struggling, I'd say, is actually like a lot of what you're talking about is kind of referring to kind of Jeff's post, I guess. So it's like, well, that's been done. So how can you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think like the whole point of this, at least what I see is the update here, is or the value in this monthly or whatever this newsletter is, right? Or the Giveth newsletter, however often it ends up coming, is just to mostly say, we got Jeff on board. We're going to use this strategy to change the future of giving. Check out this blog post. It's going to be a major focus for Giveth in the next upcoming months. You know, just like we want to change, we want to build the future of giving, aligning incentives amongst, you know, organizations and blah, 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 people, you know, all that stuff that I was saying. And it doesn't need to be a full article explaining how it works, because for the most part, we're not going to deviate so far from that blog post. So, but there's no post saying Giveth is doing this, you know, and putting our altruistic hat in the ring or whatever.
Sorry, I missed the last sentence. The future of giving, how to change builder. I was kind of making notes, and then you said something about putting your altruistic hats on, and Giveth couldn't brand it or something.
Yeah, exactly. There's no blog post that says Giveth is doing this. You know, that Giveth is working with Jeff and is building a team around.
Oh, okay. You're saying it's missing these bits and bobs in the blog post.
Yeah, like you don't have to describe the blog post because the blog post is there, but you do. Well, we need the newsletter to explain Giveth is pursuing this hardcore, right?
Okay.
And then there's a lot of other stuff going on that I would love to kind of like mention that Giveth is working on, and I don't know, like. Maybe these are just like updates on different projects that are within the Giveth galaxy.
Yeah. So the document that I have, I kind of written up a thing on the crypto primitives from what Jeff gave me, pointing about the bonding curves, 2D, 3D curves. But hold on, we're keeping it low key and all that. And then I've got some notes for myself to deal with meta transactions, X dissection. Mega funded it. I've got a note here asking to say, should I leave the funding part out of the XDI section if you want to cover that?
Well, XDI has not been funded. What was funded was our move to DAI as a deep, like integrating DAI into Giveth was funded.
Okay, DAI.
Like definitely a big thank you to MakerDAO for effectively a $10,000 donation. And you know we're recording this, and it's so you don't have to take notes if you want. You know, you can go back.
Sorry. Putting it in there, yeah. Thank you. Good to know. Should I include the news of milestone rewrite? Unicorn DAC, social coding meeting notes, and the crypto Christmas is what I've kind of got at the bottom of that page.
Yeah, I mean the crypto Christmas, man. I really hope that we can pull that off. Definitely working with that idea and trying to push it. And then, yeah, there's some XDAI. You know, we're investigating the change to XDAI. There's a lot of other projects though that I would like to at least have mentioned, and maybe maybe there's like a stream of thought, or not a stream of thought, but like a bullet points of like this is what's going on in the Giveth galaxy, you know?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of lists of bullet points, like just what's happened in social coding when I missed the meeting. I checked their notes as bones of 10 projects making bullet points, which. There's loads going on down here.
Yeah. Was Vokdoni in that? The anonymous voting project?
Which one? Sorry. IDEM 3?
Anonymous voting. Vokdoni?
Doni? Hold on, I can click it right out. Social coding, meeting notes, hack.
This would be Matthew Carano and Xavi and Pal and a bunch of other people in Catalonia that are trying to build a ZK Snarks voting app on top of IDEM 3.
ZK Snarks what?
Voting app. Like if you wanted to vote in an anonymous way, you could use this application to do it. So that's getting started, and that's like a new project. So
okay, what are they called, sorry?
Vokdoni, VOCDONI. And they're building anonymous voting, and I think it's Vokdoni.io.
But VOCDONIE.io, yeah?
Yeah, no, VOCDONI.io, I think.
Okay.
I think it's .io. I'm not sure if it's .io. It could be something else.
Yeah, that's working. Decentralized, secure, anonymous voting.
Yes.
Still working up and give a bit of news about that. But what's going on with them?
So they're just starting. they are getting some funding, and they're going to be really soon. There'll be a project on the Giveth app. And that's all. There's just this project is starting. That's pretty much all you have to say.
Just mention, yeah.
Yeah, mentioning it and really quickly what it does. And then like there's also Panvala, which is a consensus project. Panvala.
Consensus project.
Yeah, and they're experimenting with, this is very similar to the Curry model actually, with what they're doing. But their Lansky is going to be one of their judges, I think. Last I heard, you might just double check with him before, but he's going to be like part of it, and so I think that's just worthy of note. The Unicorn DAC is about to be like. I mean, seriously, if I just go really quick, I worry you're taking notes and it's going to slow us down.
Oh, okay, no worries, man. Yeah, no, that's just for myself, actually. To be fair, but yeah, carry on. Like, just go at your own pace.
I'm gonna go really fast. So we got the unicorn. The Unicorn DAC is coming through. We are trying to deploy it right now, and we're gonna start, having our funding. Lansky already made a article about that, so that can be linked for sure. We have the DApp, just integrated DAI. And we're almost done with that, thanks to the generous donation of MakerDAO. So that's really exciting. We have Tenegraph, is a project that is trying to be like Coin.dance, which is a signaling project. And there's a milestone we have a Tenegraph. You can see the most recent milestone is just about to be filled. We have a POC website up, which is really cool. And the idea is that, like, how do you know what different people are thinking in the Ethereum space, like, about controversial issues? And this is like a place for people to signal their opinions.
Does Vlad count?
What?
Does Vlad count?
Yeah, Vlad.
Yeah. A controversial issue.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, is that everyone can go there, and instead of having to go to Twitter or meet and see what Vlad thinks, and then go to ETH Research and see what Joseph Poon and Vitalik think, and then go to Medium to see what a bunch of other DApp creators think, and then all those links could be aggregated into one space, and everyone can see, oh yeah, everyone's in favor of proof of stake except for these DApps, and then, boom, you can tell what the state of these controversial issues is without having to, navigate. But there's a link. We just submitted a grant to the Ethereum Foundation, and and we already received a grant from Oregon, and they're already on the Giveth app, and so you could read the description there if you need more information.
I actually met them at Web3.
Yeah.
James, wasn't it? He's safe. Really liked him. Lovely guy.
Yep, exactly. Lovely guy. Then there's the Decentralize All the Things podcast, which has its first episode. We actually already have a bunch of episodes lined up and a whole second series on the Burning Man stuff. So that's in high gear. And that's been successful.
Nice.
The White Hat group has had some weird things to look at.
The White Hat group has always seemed quite ephemeral to me. I have no idea who or what they are, but I keep hearing the reference. I know they were involved in the DAO thing, and you were there and all that kind of stuff. And I see references to them everywhere, but it seems quite like doesn't really have edges to it. It's not really a hardly defined group, I guess.
Absolutely. We have some chat rooms where trusted people talk.
Okay, cool. There's back channels of the internet kind of thing.
Yeah, and so there was a random random attack on the status multisig that we were looking at, and there were some private keys found in some databases that we. So there were some white hat group actions, and I think I don't think that there's so much to look at or anything, but at least there were things happening. I just got done with the Latin American Bitcoin tour, the blockchain. Blockchain on tour. So
blockchain on tour, you called it, yeah.
Yeah, that should probably be mentioned because we went to, Brazil, Ecuador.
That's a good intro as well, actually.
What?
That's a really good intro, I think. Before getting too heavy into the TCRs and bonding curves, let's start with a nice friendly tour of two spots in Southern America, I think it was. But there was 5 happening all together.
Yeah, there were 6 projects that went to 5 different cities throughout Latin America.
Cool. 6. Yeah, cool.
So that's the BOT LATAM tour, right? And
name like.
Yeah, quite the name. Blockchain on tour through Latin America. But yeah, and we went to Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, and Mexico. And then DAppNode is pushing through. They recently had Avados are actually on sale now, so you can buy a DAppNode.
Oh, DAppNodes are on sale. Cool.
Yep. You can buy a DAppNode.
I saw talking about it in there. I saw people. Also, they just got a Bitcoin node running or something like that. In
yeah, the Lightning node is I think it's done. I might have to check in, but I think the Lightning node is ready.
Cool. So that's their update. Is they're on? When do they go on update? I mean, we can kind of make a bit of a push of hey, here's a nice Christmas present. If you're reading this, yeah, you that is they are on sale for Christmas. Absolutely, you should be able to get them by Christmas. That's the plan. Okay, did you get a chance to have a look at that page at all, or not viewed?
No, I did not. I mean, I'm looking at it now. I mean, I see. I guess I could even start adding things here, right? No.
Yes. Well, that's the idea, is to try and get it at least to a place where you can comment on something. You know.
IM3, LATAM, White Hat Group.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good man.
What else do we have?
So what actually happened with the White Hat Group? Yeah, there was a bit of audits in the background, or?
I mean, there was just, we were looking at the status multisig attack, which really, like, what the interesting thing to me is that you can, okay, it's not really an attack, and I don't even know if it was publicized anywhere. But it's on the blockchain, so it's not really secret. But
fair point.
Let me just get the link. So I can find it here pretty quickly. So here is the link. Oh no. Right. So there was this. What's really interesting. So basically, the failed transactions that happened are all these transactions. You can see all these transactions by this guy, 0xCVF. What's really interesting are the transactions that didn't fail.
Oh yeah. Right.
A
few.
Yeah, the two that didn't fail, right? Those are functions that are being called in a that don't exist. And this is the thing, is that the functions that don't exist, they go to the default handler, right? So if you just call a random method,
okay. What's happening with the default handler?
Well, nothing, right? I mean, effectively, you're just sending. If there's no function, you're literally just sending data in a transaction. It'd be like, what if that data just had some text that was a message, you know? That's basically what you're doing. You're just sending data to this function, but Etherscan sees it as a function call, because that bytecode that starts is representing a function, and then it has these parameters that are recognized. So what's interesting here is that, does that make sense?
I think it's probably a bit beyond me in the granularity of the smart contract world, I'm afraid. But so it's essentially calling nothing, but I don't understand why it would be calling nothing, or why the attacker would want it to do that, or if it's a buffer overflow, etc.
Okay, so background, right? When you send a when you call a function in a contract, you have all these different fields, right? In the function, in the transaction. The from, the message sender, like my address. So if I'm calling a function in a multisig that I don't own, I'm the hacker, right? I'm going to say, hey, let's change requirement, right? I want to change the requirement of this thing. I don't have permission. So it's like, my address is sending 0 ether to the status multisig, and then it's sending this block of data. And that block of data, the first 8 bytes, the first 4 bytes, the first 8 characters of the data, well, besides the 0x, are, if they hash to a function, then that function is called in the smart contract. So change requirements has these things, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm calling a function. And so the EVM is like, okay, I'm going to run this script. What's the function say? And the function says, check if this address is one of the people who are allowed to call this function. And then it's like, oh, it's not. And then, so then it's like, oh, stop. And it throws up a flag and says, hey, this is a failed transaction because of this reason, right? Now, what happens is, let's say that I do the same thing, except the first 8 bytes don't match a function in the contract. Well, then effectively, I'm just sending data as one of these fields to this contract. I'm sending a 0 ether transaction with data that is being saved on the blockchain. Just like if you wanted to send a message in Bitcoin, you could put that as data encoded in your transaction, right? And then people could read it on the blockchain.
So it's attaching a bit of data to the smart contract then?
Yes, exactly. It's well, not to the smart contract itself, but to the blockchain. And so like you have this data that's now stated, like almost like you're talking to the contract with data, right? And the contract can't respond because you didn't say the magic word or any of the magic words that are function calls. But Etherscan has a list of function calls, and then they're responding data. So like the multisig doesn't have a withdraw function, and it doesn't have a change owner function. But Etherscan knows the change owner function, and Etherscan knows the withdraw function. And so it looks like on Etherscan that you successfully changed the owner.
Oh, really? Etherscan is kind of making its own assumptions then about what's happening.
Yes, exactly. Etherscan is making
an assumption. That's a bit biased of it now, isn't it?
It is a little.
You made a function, so it went through. No, that function didn't exist, Etherscan. This is not the new owner.
Yes, exactly.
That's interesting, no?
Yes, this is this is a social attack, right? This could be a spiritual attack where you.
This is like a DNS chain kind of poison thing, isn't it?
Yeah, like you could tell someone that has a multi-sig, like
rather than a DNS.
Yeah, you can be like, oh my god, like someone's just changed the owner of our multi-sig contract. Look at this transaction. It just happened, like because I put the link in there for the change owner that
it
was
successful data.
What?
That's meant. Yeah, so Etherscan's reporting back false data.
No,
people
that's the thing. Etherscan is not reporting false data. They're parsing the data correctly, but what the thing is that it's somewhat confusing because the transaction was successful. But the function that they called, which the data parses out to, doesn't exist. And so, but the data is correctly. They called the change owner function. It's just the change owner function doesn't actually exist.
So if it did exist and it rejected, then Etherscan would report it was rejected, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Because it didn't exist, it went through somehow, but obviously didn't do anything because it didn't exist.
Yeah.
But Etherscan didn't a rejected message.
Well, because
back.
the transaction was successful. The data went on the blockchain just fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, cool. That's a bit odd. Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Has it got any significance in kind of like?
Well, it's significantly scary, right? It's super scary if you own if you look at your if your status and you're looking at your smart and you're looking at your multi-sig and people are sending weird transactions to it and most of them fail, but the change owner and the withdrawal one succeed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, holy fuck. That's really scary.
Assuming that there's a change function there in the first place to call, it will display that. So if you've blundered up that way, because it's multi-sig or change owner or whatnot. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm just trying to process all of that.
Yeah, no, it's really tough, and this is something that, if honestly, if you do want to write that up, first it needs to be sent to Etherscan, and then
right. Maybe December's issue.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. January's issue. January's issue. We'll do December's issue with all this long ass mystery with a back and forth with Etherscan we can do for the next month.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the fun stuff that's happening in the White Hat group.
Yeah, that's cool. That's an interesting puzzle.
Yeah. And item 3 is they have this amazing blog post if you want to learn how to write ZK snarks. And I don't know if you saw it in Web3 Summit. Did you go to that one?
Was there the Socrates workshop? I'm not sure if it was a Socrates workshop. I'm just piecing together things from here and there. But no, I didn't do it.
Okay, this is so like if you want to learn how to actually oh, weird. They take down where's the if you want to like create your own ZK snark circuit,
yep.
You can do it really easily with this tutorial.
Okay, cool. Where is it?
I'm posting the link right there.
Boom, shitty bong.
That no.
That in here? No, but I can probably find it.
No, I found the blog post and I put it in there in your document.
Oh, sorry, in that document you're over there. I'm getting confused. I was looking in Riot and the chat in Jitsi. Bless. Oh, okay. Let's change. Oh, okay. Add change. Add those comments. Cool. All kind of starts there. That's the white notebook. I did that. Yeah, split that up. Cool. I've done 3. Somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. Cool. Right. Cover all this. I will get back to you in a day or 2 of writing and see where we're at. I guess.
Yeah. MakerDAO. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? This is great, dude. I think we know how we should do this next time, or I think I have an idea of how we should do this next time. Basically, like, there's just all these projects, and like, ideally, there's just like, I hope that all these projects get at least a line or something of like, Giveth Galaxy, what's going on? The DApp just integrated die, and maybe there's like this one long article about Giveth, like this one maybe is about the curry model or something like that, right? And then there's the Christmas card. I think this is the meta transaction thing.
Over there.
What did you have for meta transaction?
Oh no, I literally, it's just it's a heads up for myself to go and write about meta transaction after this, follow up. Meta transaction was, my understanding of it was from what you explained, I think, was where you can essentially pay the fee because they have no Ethereum and then get paid back once they get some Ethereum, etc., so that people can be onboarded into the network without having to go through a whole banking crisis first.
Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah. That's how meta transaction. That is one use case of meta transactions for sure. And then, but the Christmas card thing that we're doing, I don't think it uses meta transactions actually.
Oh no, it's nothing to do with that. They're totally separate things. There's just no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Were they on the same line?
No. I just that's just the only thing I could think of that.
That the Meta TX were. No. I just put them in there. I'm literally just grabbing anything that kind of falls anywhere and briefly. So I thought you might want to update on that. But we can leave that bit out. That's fine.
Yeah. I don't think we have any updates on meta transactions other than I hung out with Austin Griffith today. In fact, there's the Griff riff we just did with Austin Griffith, Griffin Hutchinson, I think, H something or other, from Colony.
Oh, there's another Griff as well in there. So there's Austin Griffith and who?
And Griffin, fuck, I can't remember his last name. It's like Hutchinson or something like that.
Yeah, I think I met him. I've seen him around somewhere. The name rings a bell, but
he was being social at DEF CON for sure.
Was he at Web3? No, I've just seen him around on somewhere then. Yeah, I've seen the Hodgins thing before for sure.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, so we just did that, and I'm hoping, God, I hope it actually came through, dude, because I tried to use our live stream, and like, doesn't look like it didn't. I'm not sure if it worked or not.
What, this video or
Yeah.
another video?
This video.
Yeah, I don't think it will do. My guess is it won't, because it seemed to be failing earlier in the communications meeting on repeat, and then Chris, I think, snatched it up through OBS in the end anyway, and he was saying that he's going to do next week that way again, and then just use the streaming key from OBS rather than Jitsi, and they had a brief discussion about getting a server for Jitsi talks and all that, but Kay had already been through that last year apparently and stuff. So yeah, it's unlikely it's gone to YouTube.
Yeah. I really hope that it just pops up, because it like streamed. It's never done this before where it streams.
It might also have to crunch some numbers afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. And like we'll see, because it's never done this before. Like this is weird what it's doing. But I posted the video and in this document, and I'm just like gonna say, hey, like this might have failed. In fact, I posted it here.
Maybe a little bit off. Like naming. So look at that.
Yeah, it's just really weird.
Oh yeah. Crypto winter conversation.
Yeah, it was a really good chat. I just hope that it comes through.
Is it working?
Like I've never seen a stream do that before.
Yeah. That is currently not coming out. Wait, hold on. Is it really, really low? No. Right. Yeah, it looks like Jitsi's output has recorded a bunch of cartoon characters all the way through it. And video. So fingers crossed it pops up for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's see, Crypto Christmas. So did they tell you about the Christmas cards?
I found the page on it. I saw Chrissy popping up in DAC somewhere or something like that. I don't know where page that they were working on, so I had a nose around that. It's NFTs that you can donate art for, if I'm not mistaken. But does it go to Venezuela, or is it going to Giveth, this one? I'm kind of confused about that. It's going to Venezuela.
Yeah, all the funds will go into a campaign that will support Venezuela.
Yeah.
And then and then the cool thing is, the dream is that this will onboard people to
from the archives.
What?
Any more from the archives? Floating bits and bobs to go over.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me check this last thing. MakerDAO. Well, so I think we can leave off Dendai for now. We're becoming a validator on the XDAI chain.
Okay. XDAI. That's proof of POA, isn't it?
Yep, it's POA. And
there a post link to on that I can find, or is this new news?
I think I don't know if there is a link on it, but I bet you can find. Let me see. Maybe I can Google and something will come up. I think This is probably the best, but I don't think they mentioned Giveth in it. Maybe. Nope.
Nope.
I don't think that there's anything saying that we have that we're in it yet, but we have to be in it. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll see what I can find around that and whatnot. But yeah, we can just mention that, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I put a link in the notes just now.
Did you not just cross that out? No.
Yeah, you should just accept all these changes. I'm so sorry. I'm using. I'm not
do I need? Oh fuck! Do I need to hit the ticks on all of these then? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, I thought it was coming through all fine.
It is coming through, but then yeah, you can just hit accept all these,
Accept.
and it'll actually look decent. And maybe if I put.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Yeah, it's becoming less pink.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine. Good to know what's going on. You are certified, approved. I don't know.
But yeah, I don't want to forget Kambala. That should be in here.
That's Lansky.
Let's see. And
Still got a bunch of stuff here. There it is.
so what is this? This is. These are the things I know about. I'm sure the other person to talk to that would be interesting would be Danny.
I gave. Oh yeah. That's probably a good shout. All right, hold on. Let me just page this. Didn't know that either. Talk to on other projects. Noted. Give her a shout. Yeah, she's in the. Is she communications or kind of floating around all parts of the galaxy? I wouldn't want to pigeonhole her.
She's part of the DAP team.
Oh, is she? She's DAP side.
Mm-hmm. And so she would have all the understandings of. She would have all the understandings of.
Changes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll definitely hit her up for that. I also want to say hi. It's quite interesting, the governance stuff as well. So I might kind of run by a few wiki things and whatnot if she isn't too busy. It's good to circle around and things.
Yeah, man. And then all right, so geez, man, you're practically full-time Giveth right now. Have you noticed that?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm looking for something to do, man. I get bored otherwise.
Well, so how do you want to receive rewards? Do you want to start becoming a unicorn of some sort and start getting regular rewards to just keep doing what you're doing?
Ideally, so yeah. So the score with me is I essentially lost my job at Pillar due to ETH prices and whatnot. But I got a couple of months severance packages, and I'm quite lean, so 2 months severance package turns out to be multiple months on the salary that they wanted to pay anyway. So I'm just kind of ticking away, looking for the next thing, the next DAO, next community, whatever,
Yeah.
So I'd love to join you guys, provided I can provide value, So my intent is to just working on stuff, and where possible, yeah, cool, that'd be greght. But I have no clue how the galaxy's unfolding. I'm going to go quite regularly and then follow processes in that and see what happens.
Okay, so yeah, there's the unicorn capital U, right? But then you can be a lowercase u, and lowercase u's can still receive regular rewards and stuff like that. I mean, dude, the fact is you're putting in a lot of time and definitely making a lot of impact. So I would love to figure out some roles for you in the role sheet, and then start paying you regular rewards to start, because you're in it, and it's not like regular rewards are a whole lot. It's 600 euros a week. which is decent, but it's not like
I pay $700 a month, and that's me sorted. You know, that's my rent, and I'm done.
Yeah. Well, you got to eat. You should be able to have fun, and I'm sure it'd be nice to take a girl out for dinner or something, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, like these things, they happen, and like and so like lean is great, and you know. But you're providing a lot of value. I can't believe Pillar let you go. That's crazy. But
it's kind of a diplomatic thing. It's like, I'm still quite heavily tied in there. It's just I don't know how to explain that place. You'd probably be some of the closest people to figure out actually what that place was. Like so many parallels between the two spots. Like from what I can gather. But who knows? I went to ask Gallo, what's going on in social coding? Like that is like, God, don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the nature of the beast. It's like, oh yeah, hear that one.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. There's just so much going on all over the place. So, crypto winter is tough, man. Like, you know, you think you have roadmap and runway for this, and then the price crashes 90%, you know? If you it seems like you're doing a lot of calm stuff, so we could try to do regular rewards through there.
Chris has been chucking out stuff left, right, and center. To be quite honest, like I've felt. I just wanted to help out initially, so yeah, that's that. But anyway, I've broken the seal, so to speak, and I'm gonna pitch in some stuff not pitch in some stuff. I'm gonna go and make the videos and create the milestones and all those kind of things on Chris's advice. So
yeah. Well, yeah, and you won't get like a living wage off of Reward DAO, you know. So make sure that, and Reward DAO is just us giving thanks back. Like it's not a place to make money, you know. So
in that case, I kind of got more comfortable with it actually reading through the wiki.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, dude, like just
when it gets thrown out to other rings, and then that gets. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Who knows? that's gifting. It's just gifting.
Yeah, exactly. It's gifting with no expectation of return on either side. You know, it's like so you do stuff, and sometimes you get points, sometimes you don't. It's not about it being fair. It's just like it's like
exactly. A bit of fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just a bit of fun. It's karmic points, I guess, kind of like the old forums, but with some kind of extra bonusy type thing attached to it with Ether.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's us saying, hey, we're committed to rewarding our contributors, but the way we're going to do it, you know, there's a little bit of luck, and there's a lot, you know, extroverts end up getting more because they're willing to tell us what they're doing, you know, and like. You know, it's just not fair, but it's something. So.
Yep. Yeah, I feel it.
But like seriously, if you're willing to put in so many hours like you have been, let's just get you on some kind of regular stipend, and keep going. You know.
Cool. I'm happy to do the dance. So let's keep going.
Yeah. Cool. So then, yeah, dude. Well, I'm sure this is more than enough for this newsletter.
I have a feeling I'll have a very long newsletter if I include it all.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to do it. I mean, feel free to be bullet pointy.
Yeah. I think, as you said, we'll probably do a feature on the curry model, and then it's kind of get a roundup-y type job, you know. There's a lasso hurting some kind of things, and there's a pen. There's a pen. This is what's happening over there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, so many things. So,
Promise you, it's not everything. There's a total cluster over there that we've forgotten, but you know, here's some things.
yeah,
This is what we managed to find.
yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for taking the time to go through all this with me, which has been, Jesus, this good bit of time, so I appreciate that. Hope your day goes smoothly from here, given that makes it 4:30 now.
Oh shit. Yeah, I gotta roll, man. I gotta get packed and go to the airport.
Oh, please, mate. Don't miss your flight again.
Yeah, no way. Okay, cool, man. Thanks, dude. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, my brother.
And this video's on Giveth Transparency if you need it.